ML Doubles is back here for Week 11, Total Goal Thursday. And as always, we got some hype matchups tonight. Kendo is here with me. I'm Ninja Rider, bringing you the two-game action with a special presentation in between both games. Fantastic play, I think, because it's all Champ League tonight.
Yeah, fantastic play indeed. Of course, the Flat League guys, they've been corralled to Saturday for the wild card weekend. It's gonna be good, Ninja.
Yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. But tonight, at least right now, Aviators versus the Lightning, number one in the Sky Division and number one in the Storm Division, going head to head right now. And the Lightning kind of have a lot to lose right now based off of their standings. The Storm Division is pretty close.
Yeah, the Storm Division is actually really, really close. It reminds me a lot of the Volcanic Division last season on Season 5, where everybody was just around that 500 mark, and it was hotly contested. Ironically, being the Volcanic Division, hotly contested would be kind of a pun.
I see what you did there.
The matchup that we have tonight, though, between a number one in a division in the Lightning, 25-25, sitting at 500, and a number two in the Sky Division, Aviators team at 32-18, literally 7 games above. It's an intriguing matchup.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, Aviators sitting 32-18, like you said. They're second in the league. But the Lightning can make up a lot of ground in the Storm Division, but they can also lose a lot. They could potentially slip to third place if they get 5-0'd. But you mentioned earlier, Majestic Moose has been all over the pitch lately, so he's going to have to perform. But Ezra, I think, is going to be the one that needs to step up tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Ezra Moose is actually in the top 10 for points scored per game. So you collect all those points together, he's averaging 423 points a game. And when you consider all these points are cut in half because of private lobbies, that's an insane total that he's scoring every game. He's all over the place in the stat charts. He's in the running for goals. He's in the running for assists. He's in the running for saves. He's the do-all for his team. Yeah, Ezra definitely going to need to step it up today. And then, of course, on the other side, Killer Penguin, a similar player to Moose, very, very talented, and Pseudo Justin, who is probably one of the most underrated value picks in the entire MLD. But Ninja, we have to cut to something very quickly because the great Inanimate J finally remembered to download the Balls Energy MLD Play of the Week. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a drink, and you take a watch. Who is your Player of the Week?
Really want that, but it's going to be Owl as he still keeps it. Challenged by Hydra is going to send this corner to corner, side to side in the Knight's End. Benedep has one angled towards the Hurricanes net. That's off the post, and it's going to be a turtle goal for Hydra. And that is a 3-1 lead, a little bit of savagery by Hydra.
Yeah, but he really knew that Owl had the recovery on this one here. Had to lift it up just enough, and he did so really, really effectively. Great mechanics to get below that ball with the underside of the car, chip it up and over.
Hydra. Yeah. Dude, it was a killer goal, I have to admit. And Kendo, I when Hydra actually messaged me on Twitter, saying, "Hey, I'm on the Rocket Daily." He's like, "Oh my God, yeah." I talk to him all the time. Managed second place that day for the Rocket Dailies, and that's big. That's huge. He went up against, I don't even remember. It was some wild, wacky, crazy goal, as the Rocket Dailies always seems to find. And I think the only reason is because Hydra's not quite up at that utter, complete holy mackerel level, but that shot is just brilliant.
Absolutely. It was an amazing shot. Something I don't think I've ever seen before. He was able to pop that shot up and over. So, Ninja, we got everybody in the lobby. We look like we are ready to go here. The signal, I believe, is about to be put out. We are going to be getting underway here with a wonderful matchup, the Lightning versus the Aviators. And your kickoff is going to be Pseudo Justin up against Ezra.
We're looking for the Lightning to come out and be super aggressive, as they kind of always do. Patience and ball control will be important for them to get around this Aviator squad, but Killer Penguin, Pseudo Justin, more than happy to sit back and let their defense do the work.
Absolutely, and really, the thing for the Lightning lately has been the lack of control. They definitely have the speed. This is one of the fastest teams in the MLD right now. It's just they have lacked the control at critical points in their rotation, in so many opportunities. Speaking of opportunities, Majestic Moose putting one on, Killer Penguin there to save. But the control game, of course, as I always say, it is the name of the game, and if they can control the pace of the game, they control the ball in the Aviator zone, as they have so far, they should be coming out of it pretty good.
I mean, so far, yes, but they haven't really been able to put any quality shots on. They've been focusing a lot on strategy, and that's exactly what they need to do, but Majestic Moose in a great spot. Killer Penguin had to wheel it around for the save. The Aviators pretty much stonewalling anything the Lightning have been able to put at their net for the last almost a minute and a half now, as we are in game 1. This is week 11, so not a whole lot of Platinum League action. It's pretty much Champ League taking the spotlight this week and pretty much for the next 3 weeks before their playoffs start. But of course, gotta stay tuned for Saturday, because it's going to be way crazy for the Platinum League as those guys get underway. Here is Killer Penguin, makes a nice save. A good pass out to Pseudo Justin too. We might have a chance. The accuracy on the offensive end for the Aviators is starting to bite him again.
Just a little bit. I mean, you're still in the feeling out phase. We're only 2 minutes into game number 1. And to be honest, both these teams haven't put too much towards the net from what I have seen. Really just 2 shots by the Lightning so far. Both shots able to be saved by Killer Penguin, and they weren't exactly great chances either. Just really feeling out. The thing that I have noticed, though, the Lightning are really trying to pin the Aviators in their own end, boost steal where they can, and here's a big save by Majestic Moose as Killer Penguin just able to get that ball over Ezra.
But a big kill on Ezra will allow Killer Penguin with a carry. Nice little touch up to the goal, but Majestic Moose reads it very well, keeping his momentum up for a good save. As apparently, both Moose and Ezra have been watching the streams lately, as have been pounding in everybody's heads that momentum is the key to victory, at least in my opinion. Moose follows it up, slams her home.
Well, as we were saying earlier, Moose is one of those guys who can do just about everything here. Perfect example of setting yourself up. A nice pass out of the mid, off of the backboard. Killer Penguin not able to read it in time. That's a tough defense when you're on the wall like that. Yeah, Moose will finish. Lightning up 1.
Now let's see if the Aviators can respond. They're definitely trying, being able to push into the Lightning zone. I have to admit, Utopia looking really cool with this blue and green setup.
Absolutely. Utopia is really one of my favorite maps. When it came out, such a beautiful setup. I mean, you got the crowd, the styling of the stadium.
Uh-oh.
It's graphically appeasing.
The part that is kind of tough, though, is when you get up and around the walls. I don't remember if they fixed it really well, but sometimes the columns get in the way of your view as you have ball cam on. But it's something you kind of learn to work around, and one of the skill sets you learn is feeling out where the ball is compared to you and making the play happen. As Ezra gets set up here, not a great setup from Moose. with a minute left. It's the Lightning ahead. Aviators have a big chance here.
Really, as we've gone 4 minutes in this game number one, it's been all about lack of control, as Killer Penguin gonna show off some skill right here. Going up the wall. Amazing touch, great control, gets the dunk on both members of the Lightning. Wow.
Ezra a little bit impatient in net, in my opinion. Majestic Moose was already there, trying to make a play, and if Ezra maybe stayed on the ground and was able to read the ball coming through, might have been able to just enough to knock it away. And it's usually enough with the 2v2 setup, because the other Aviator squad mate was not really in a position to capitalize on something like that. He would have had to really work for it. But still tied at 1. We might have an overtime here as time begins to wind down.
Yeah, with 17 seconds left, a nice demo there in front of the net. Now there's a 2v1 the other way. Ezra pops it off. This might be over. Moose and Killer Penguin gonna score a big one from his own end.
Straight sniped. As Ezra was trying to get control of the ball, keep some speed on it. Maybe a pass out to Moose. Moose was a little bit far back, trying to play a little bit safe. And he actually had the right idea, flying up at the ball like that, trying to knock it away into his own corner and make a play off of it. He just whiffed. It happens.
Yeah, and that's the lack of control I was talking about that the Lightning tend to have. Although Moose, the demo by Pseudo Justin, killing that opportunity. Well,
Ezra actually.
Go ahead.
Sorry, my bad. Ezra, I was going to say, Ezra had pretty decent chance there right at the end to get a little bit of control on the ball, just put the ball right on top of his car, but couldn't quite get it. Ball bounced a little weird, and when he tried to position himself, it ended up dying out. It could have been a tying goal there. So pretty even matchup so far, and I have to say, not really surprised.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, the breakdown of the matchup was very pure at the beginning of this match. Really, you have two very similar players in Moose and Penguin, and then you have two solid support guys in Ezra and Pseudo Justin, and differing styles between the two teams, of course, with the Lightning really liking to push the tempo. It hasn't amounted to much because they haven't had control over certain circumstances. Missed opportunity there.
Yeah, Ezra was facing the wrong way. Tried to wheel it around. He had his finger on the handbrake forever and ever, and unfortunately he couldn't get it any momentum towards the ball. But now, super dangerous onto the Lightning side. Ezra wisely backing off there, although Moose took a hit. It put Killer Penguin out of position to take advantage of the light touch in front of that the blue goal mouth. But Aviators right back on it, and it seems like the Aviators are the ones pushing the Lightning at this time. The Lightning have been known to just pull something out of a hat.
Well, I mean, they could pull a rabbit out of a hat. I would be kind of impressed, but we're playing Rocket League right now. Magic tricks aren't going to do very much for me, unless, of course, you are the Wizards. In this pinch by Pseudo Justin setups perfectly for Killer Penguin. He's not going to take advantage, though. Really just back and forth on the positioning and the possession game. Not too much solid possession, but that pass will squeak by from Ezra Moose to finish.
Oh my god, Ezra saw Moose way up there. That was a risky play if I've ever seen one, but Killer Penguin had no boost. He was not able to catch up with the ball in time. Flipping at the ball, it just kind of lost control of the car a little bit, and it was just enough to put the Lightning up. Now the Aviators coming from behind, a kickoff goal? Not quite.
Yeah, it was a solid effort by Penguin off the face-off, gets the ball into the corner, tries to get that little ankle doink that is so tough, but so rewarding off of kickoff if you can get it. So we are 3:17 on the clock, the one-goal lead for the Lightning. I mean, low-scoring game in game number one. Be interesting to see if that trend continues here, because the Lightning haven't picked up the pace, and really to where I know they are comfortable with.
Yeah, but we keep hammering about possession and control of the ball, and you can tell the Lightning is starting to work on it. Moose off the sidewall. Talk about some control. Let's just plant it on the nose and send it in.
Yeah, this is where the Moose gets his majestic namesake, and he has all the control in the world off of the wall right there. Keeps it on the nose and tells y'all to clip it, tag it, and he wants to bag it. And by it, I mean the Balls Garana. For the Balls play of the week, make sure you guys select that.
Heartbreaking.
Yeah, very heartbreaking. This 2-goal lead at the halfway mark definitely seems pretty sturdy. A lot of the pressure, though, has been in the Aviator zone.
And it got to him right there.
Yeah,
straight up. I mean, tons of pressure here by both Lightning squad mates. Nice rotation, making sure that they have control of the ball as much as possible, and just kind of putting it towards the net. They had that 2-goal lead, like you mentioned. You can tell they're not going for a high-scoring game. If the opportunity presents itself, they're going to take it for obvious reasons. You have to. But the goal differential, not a huge thing to them right now. They just want to get the win, and it's a good idea because they need to keep their lead in their division.
Yeah, absolutely. Every game, every goal is going to count here, especially in that very close Storm division. Ezra getting a chance. Killer Penguin pinching it off the bar. 1v1 the other way. Penguin gets by Moose, and he will score and cut into that 3-goal lead now. The 2-goal lead with 2 minutes to go.
Ezra trying to catch up to the play. He thought he could play the ball on the other side and just bop it up and off towards center. That actually would have been a bad play too, but Aviators just straight up field awareness, knowing that Moose was a little bit too far forward. He should have wheeled it around way quicker once Ezra did not have control over said ball, but you can tell the Lightning are a little bit more hesitant to attack before making sure they have someone in position. Good positioning there, speaking of positioning, by Majestic Moose to turn this into offense. Good transition as well. Oh, nice little center. Oh, that was beautiful. As somebody who likes beautiful passes, that was a beautiful pass. It's too bad Ezra wasn't there.
Yeah, and that's really, it seems like that's been the weakness. I'll just be quiet here. Nice touch by Ezra, coming up off of the wall, grabs the boost, doesn't need to follow it because both Aviators are out of position. Killer Penguin was on the ball before, and bad rotation around. We'll see a 3-goal lead once again.
I think Pseudo thought that the ball was not going to go that far off the wall, and when it did, it took him by surprise. He wasn't quite sure what to do. So it forced him into a really awkward position, and his teammate, who was trying to recover from his play, just could not recover in time. 3-goal lead, Lightning super comfortable right now. They are not pushing it. They are not using that speed advantage that they have, at least in the opinion of this caster, over the Aviators. We talked about it before the matchup, Kendo, how much speed the Lightning have.
Oh yeah.
And we're not seeing it right now. And it's a good idea. They're letting the ball float around, waste a little bit of time, make sure that they win this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And really, I think that's what they need. A little bit more control, and then kick it up to 11. Try to change the pace mid-play. Oh my.
Oh my God.
Ezra getting away. So close there for Killer Penguin as Ezra just barely gets in the way. Here's a setup, though. Majestic Moose is able to touch it out over the head of Killer Penguin, and he'll maintain possession. This will be up off the backboard. Killer Penguin with a great clear away.
Possible try here. Just trying to close up the gap a little bit. You want to make sure you get as many goals as you can, even when you're down. That last goal could mean a tiebreaker or something like that. Even though you may be in the lead in your division, you always got to make sure you get as many goals as possible. And the Aviators not giving up there towards the end. They're trying to move that momentum towards this game, Game 3 coming up here. As we move on, the Lightning pick up another win. They break their 500. Actually, technically, they're still at 500. 26 and 26, I should say.
Caster math, Ninja. It's
Caster
okay.
math. Caster math. I'm doing it live. I just have 25 and 25 written down. I'm not, actively changing it as we go. Come on.
I mean, if you did that, it would take quite a bit of RAM. Ninja needs more RAM. But anyway, definitely, I'm definitely liking the control out of the Lightning there in game number 2. If they're able to continue that, I can definitely see them picking up the pace and maintaining that control. And if they're able to do that, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them to win the rest of these games.
But it's up to the Aviators, though, to speed it up. They're not really challenging these balls properly. There's plenty of room for them to do it. These Lightning are giving it to them. But maybe some aggression would come in handy. Just kind of bumping the Lightning around and maybe getting a couple of demos here and there. But the Aviators need to stop having somebody, and by somebody I mean both players, in the corner like they did right here. Killer Penguin trying to recover off of this, and Pseudo Justin just didn't know what to do with the ball there. Kind of got a little mixed up.
Yeah, Pseudo Justin was way out of rotation right there. You need to either touch that ball up when the person is trying to clear down to you, or you need to get on the back end of that rotation extremely quickly. And both men on the same side as Killer Penguin's coming down. It's a very disadvantageous defensive possession. Ezra opting not to take that touch right there. He tries to go for a bump as well. The physical play. They're trying to bring it.
And they're trying. And you know what? It's enough. They're getting in the Lightning's, or the Aviators' faces. Talking about the Lightning here. But we've seen a couple of instances like that one right there, where Ezra took it in front of the goalmouth on the ground, and a possible dunk attempt coming out. And we saw it on the other side as well, where the Aviators did kind of the same thing. And, oh yeah. Yep, big miss by Ezra. Killer Penguin, tying it up.
Yeah, very well played by Killer Penguin. Great patience. He's going to touch this first ball out. Ezra, a little bit too far forward, has to try to make an extremely tough touch into the corner. Is not able to, flipping backward. Tie game.
For the Lightning, we are expecting them to crank it up. As you mentioned earlier, crank it up to 11, but the Aviators can match them. They do have speed as well. And good challenges by everybody, just keeping on the ball as much as possible. A little pass out to Ezra. Killer Penguin shadows nicely after recovering off a bad 50 for him. Good mechanical play coming out from both sides as well.
Yeah, the mechanics are definitely there for these teams, as Moose is going to get one over Pseudo Justin.
Now keep going. Keep it going. Keep going. You had it. I mean, you read this thing perfectly, Kendo. I saw you reading that play.
Yeah. That, you know, now that you talked about how well I read it, I kind of beamed it. Just call it hashtag reverse fridge, of course, in the chat.
What?
Yeah, I did. I called out fridge.
Oh boy.
I called out everybody's favorite oven. Anyway, Majestic Moose is going to bring this ball into the corner. Really good pressure here by the Lightning, though, as they don't want the Aviators to get anything in the mid. Oh, great demo on the back end of that play. Here's a 1v1 for Moose. Can he get to it in time? No, Killer Penguin will clear that away.
The Aviators super comfortable here in the midfield, but they need to get some communication going. Slow plays like that, man, you got to have a man back at all times. Yeah, you know, Killer Penguin was going for boost and probably expected Pseudo Justin to have more control over the ball, but when you have the other team all over you like that constantly, you got to be in position, use the penny boosts, you know, the little pads. Don't necessarily go for the canisters.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes
we figured this out, didn't we? At one point, well, how much boost do you need to make a good defensive play? I think it was like 30 or 40.
Yeah, about 34. Really, if you have 40, that's more than enough.
And you pick that up with 3 to 4, depending on what you have left of the little boosts.
Heaven knows, if you need to just make a straight touch up, a soft touch up, all you really need is 2 little pellets, the 24 total. Anyway, a nice touch by Ezra. Killer Penguin going to make the save in the net. Very important save right there. You don't want to go down by 3 with 2 minutes to go. And Moose with a great touchdown to Ezra. He'll finish it.
Confidence coming out here from the Lightning. That was a blatant pass. Killer Penguin not challenging that at all. I really think Killer should have at least jumped for it. Even if it ended up being an own goal, jump for it. Like, get up there and get in the Lightning faces Because the Lightning are doing just that. They're all over this Aviator squad pretty much all game.
Yeah, great rotation out of the Lightning. And the lack of rotation for the Aviators has really been hurting them right now. Killer Penguin going to try to stop that ball as Ezra definitely has shown he is not afraid of the physical plays there in the corner.
Uh-oh.
So here's a touchdown. Who's just going to play this across? And I mean, every single time the Aviators seem like they have an opportunity, the Lightning are there to pounce on the ball. They're winning the battles to loose balls, and that's, I mean, every time that you do that, it makes it a whole lot tougher for your opponent to maintain good possession, says Ezra, getting another nice shot on. Killer Penguin, I think he's going for the saves record.
He's going for it because that was one of the closest saves I've seen here at the MLD when ball's bouncing off the wall like that. Killer Penguin's saying, "Oh no, hang on, we got a minute. We can still get this."
Extremely well done. He keeps it up on the hood the entire time, and a nice little side flip there from him to get it over Moose. That's a tough one to predict when you can flip it and flick it from just about anywhere on your hood. Speaking of flicks, Killer is going to put this on net, and it ends up being an own goal, but he had great positioning getting around that ball.
Actually, he did. You know, Ezra had a tough challenge there. He's trying to read what Killer Penguin was going to do, and then Moose had to come from behind, which is always hard to do, and off the wall. It was going to be a hard read anyways, but now the Aviators find themselves only one goal down with plenty of time left. They need to basically keep some possession, get that ball on the other side. It'll happen.
Yeah. Definitely needs to happen with the 1-goal deficit. They don't want to go down 2 games here. This ball is hit out for Killer Penguin. He's going to get a shot towards net. Not too much power, though, and that really might be a missed opportunity. He booms that towards the net, makes it hard for the Lightning. It might create another opportunity for the team.
Oh my god, using the ceiling? Where did this Ezra come from? Look at this, just booming it, using the ceiling. Moose knew it was going to hit the ceiling and positioned himself perfectly for the top shelf shot. You can't get much better than that. Team play galore coming out from the Lightning, make this a 2-goal game. That might be the dagger.
That might be the dagger indeed, especially if the Lightning can get a clear right here. They do. Justin not turning around in time. But I think the man who deserves a lot of credit for that was Moose. Trying to read that ball up off of the ceiling like that, extremely tough. And when he hit that ball, it was perfectly placed just below the top bar, making it as hard as possible for the man in net to defend it. I believe it was Pseudo Justin.
I think so too.
Who was there. And wow, the Aviators valiant comeback.
Yeah.
But the Lightning asserting their dominance there at the end with an extremely nice technical goal.
The Lightning, though, are making really good challengers. They're making sure that the Aviators don't have the ball. And it's something that there's been some discussion as far as the way Rocket League sort of works. One of the foundations of Rocket League is making sure that the other team just doesn't have possession. They don't get a turn, in other words, to make a shot or make a play at all. And it's something the Lightning is doing fairly well. That said, the Aviators are kind of sitting back. They're trying to play reactionary. It's not working out for them.
Yeah, if I'm the Aviators right now, I want to pick up my pace. I want to get to the ball faster than the Lightning because they have been making you pay when you're allowing them to control the ball. I mean, turn it into a dirty game. Turn it into a sloppy game. Do what you have to do, but take the Lightning off of their game because they've just established themselves in the mid and just on the ball 24/7 as Ezra scores.
And so that's a really good pinch off the wall to send that one towards center. It took Pseudo Justin by surprise, and Killer Penguin saw it happening. He had to come from behind a lot like Moose did in the last game to try to make a save. It was just not going to happen. Good shot by Ezra. Nice, solid play all around. I'm loving this Ezra. We have not seen him play this good in since we saw him last. This is good stuff. Ellie's been practicing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the fun things about casting week in, week out. You get to see the improvement on these teams. And, of course, you talk to some of the captains, you talk to some of the players. It's a very good league for development. Ezra touches this ball out. That's an inconvenient touch for Pseudo Justin. Killer Penguin will pick it up here. And once again, as we see there, the Aviators just really giving away possession to the Lightning. Here's a shot towards the net. Killer Penguin, great save to keep it out. But that was all made possible by the fact that they shipped the ball once again into Lightning possession.
And the Lightning are giving them just enough space to allow the Aviators to feel comfortable of trying to make a play, but the Lightning is super confident. They're making sure that they are there and ready and waiting for the Aviator touch when it comes time for that. Even if they miss, like Ezra forced to play high because he just went for it. You know, sometimes that's enough. And especially with the Aviators a little bit tilted right now, they are behind in the series 2-1. Look, that's what I'm talking about. Pseudo just feels backflipped. You know he's trying to play faster, and he's playing a little bit above his head, at least for tonight. But we know this Aviator squad is one of the best in the league. I mean, they're second in the league.
Yeah.
You would think if you go off the numbers that the Aviators should probably be winning this series, but they're not.
The fun fact about their record is the fact that they started out with a really rough season. Literally 3 entire players ended up leaving the roster, some leaving the league, and they had an entirely new roster with the exception of Pseudo Justin. And since then, they had just been on a tear, but the last week and a half now, Ezra missing out on an opportunity right there. The last week and a half now has been really rough for Aviator fans.
Ezra channeling his inner majestic Moose lately. This whole game, he's trying to play off the backboard. He's playing super confident. It's good to see that, of course. The Aviators need to be wary. They need to make sure they have at least enough room to start making plays, but they're backing off a lot. So they're playing a little shy. That's what I like to call that.
Yeah, and you
bad
can't
touch,
play shy in twos because other teams are going to take advantage of that. It breaks down into 1v1 situations, and especially in the Champ League, the mechanics, you're going to get beat that way. Killer Penguin will drop this ball down, going for the 1v1 challenge. It'll center for Pseudo Justin. If he would have gotten a little more on that and a little more towards the net, that would have been a great play for the Aviators. Instead, the Lightning are going to pick up possession in the mid once again and re-put in that pressure that they've had all game. Ooh, what a play by Moose as he's going to put this up off of the corner.
Good coverage on the goal there by Pseudo Justin, though. It forced Moose to go to the outside because of the way that Moose was facing. Ezra sets it up, and Moose, nice and easy goal. Solid play by the Lightning. They knew they were ahead. They're super confident. They just make sure that ball gets in the net. That's all they needed to do. And Ezra, what a great touch towards the net. That almost went in.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
the
almost
mechanical improvement out of Ezra is actually, I mean, is blowing my mind. He's doing very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, the Aviators did give him a little bit of a gift. Both members back whiffing on that ball, and that one hurt quite a bit.
Something the Aviators need to clean up. Let's face it.
I mean, hire a janitor.
Okay.
Speaking of cleaning up, don't bring that challenge into Killer Penguin's house if you're Majestic Moose. Man, oh man, great goal by Killer Penguin. Cuts the lead in half with 21 to go.
Clean up aisle 3.
You got to do that right. You have to go. Can we get a clean up on aisle 3? Clean up on aisle 3. As we're going to drop this down out of the corner, Moose gets the angle, but is just a little bit high. All of this stalling the ball out in the Aviators zone, and game 2 or 3, 4,
4.
yeah,
Game 4.
5, 10, 15, 20,
Master math.
25, 30, 35. Game 4 will go to the Lightning 2-1.
This is big for the Lightning. They're extending their lead in the Sky Division. Exactly what, or the Storm Division. Sorry, that's exactly what they need to do. The Aviators, I can't say they can really afford losses. Because let's face it, who can at this point? Especially when next week starts interdivisional play.
Mm-hmm.
Or I always confuse that.
Interdivisional play is what they're
That's
doing
what we're
right
doing
now.
now.
Divisional play is what
Divisional
starts
play,
next
yeah.
week.
I always confuse those two for some reason. RAM. Need more RAM. Googling how to install more RAM.
Yeah. Anyway,
Need to get that down there.
you got to get the right type of RAM and maybe a sponsorship as well. Speaking of sponsors,
So what you're saying is I need to cool my RAM. Maybe that's my problem. It's getting a little too hot.
exactly, and we do have solutions for your cooling with Arctic Cooling, Arctic.ac. Make sure you check those guys out for all your cooling needs.
You know what I need to do now?
What do you
Let
need?
Ezra score that goal.
I feel like Ezra just saved us from a really bad joke.
Totally did, but I'm just going to do it later because look at the mechanics. We don't need to say any more. Ezra just made a statement. He's here to stay. Like, you and I, we've played with Majestic Moose. We know how he plays. He likes to play kind of flashy. He likes to make sure that, hits the ball with the right part of the car and all that stuff. Except for there. Killer Penguin just sped that one going.
Oh, really? That was just a tough play to try to defend there. Moose did all he could coming from across. Killer Penguin playing the quick transition play, and this is different from the Aviators. It'll be interesting to see if they can try to pull out the quick transition once again on the overcommit by the Lightning.
Starting to see some good placement off a kickoff. We haven't seen that much. Of course, we haven't had a lot of kickoffs either. The Aviators are really taking advantage of the fact that the Lightning not so strong on kickoffs. And the Aviators being able to place that ball exactly where the teammate is on kickoff is fantastic. Plus, that first goal, lots of control. They decided not to boom it at the net. They stopped and took control of the ball. And I think they've realized that might be their problem so far, at least in this series. So they're trying to make this a 3-2 as opposed to a 4-1.
Yeah, but still more indications that the rotation's a little bit off. Killer Penguin playing that ball to the side. Pseudo Justin coming out of the net to try to make something happen on that ball, and the double commit was lethal, but the Lightning not able to make them pay for it as Majestic Moose tried to mind game a little too hard there.
And just going a little too slow, I think. Couldn't get the flick, couldn't get underneath the ball. I thought maybe he thought that he could possibly dunk, but with no speed on the ball, it wasn't going to pop up anyways, as both Ezra and Moose kind of a little bit all over each other. Haven't really seen that much. We saw that the last time they played on stream where they were having a hard time communicating, but I think they're playing a little bit loose. They know they have the series win, and they're probably feeling good right now.
Yeah, I would be feeling good, pretty good myself with the series win in the bag and then one more to go. But a tie game with 3:05. Ezra making a second touch. A great play by Pseudo Justin in the net, though, to keep that ball out. Moose not able to continue the pressure there, and Penguin will get the clear out.
I'm sorry, I'm thoroughly impressed by Ezra right now. Because the last time I saw him play, he was having a little bit of a hard time. You tell he was kind of jittery. It seems like he's so relaxed now. He's just letting it hang out, and he's doing it with style.
Yeah, letting it all hang out, indeed. I mean, what else are you going to say? Here's Ezra, though. He's going to try to pop it over. Killer Penguin. He almost gets it. The bar playing a little bit of helper there for the Aviators, as this game still remains 1-1. And really, the Lightning, once again, allowed possession.
Yeah.
The pass to Ezra was not jumped on. Instead, Killer Penguin's going to take the spot there. But the Aviators have really just been content to allow the Lightning to come and put the pressure on in their own zone, and they haven't changed that yet.
Not much, but the Aviators are starting to come around a little bit. I think they've realized that they haven't really touched the ball much. And they're starting to challenge nicely. They're starting to get a little bit more confidence in their hits. As, well, Ezra is saying, yeah, you are, so I'm going to demo you. Oh, Moose too! Okay, but look at that, like that challenge right there. Justin just came flying up at it, realizing exactly where it was going to be, and he popped it up and forced Ezra back.
Now with 1:08 left, Ninja, we have a tie game. And I'm really interested to see where this one goes. It's a great touch by Killer Penguin. Doesn't let Pseudo Justin get around it to take that touch on net. And it was an overcommit. Doesn't end up being punished because both Lightning not able to jump on the ball in time.
This is starting to look like the Aviator squad that we've seen before. Super aggressive, keeping up their momentum. That's very important. And making sure that they have a man challenging at all times. May not be a great challenge, but someone's there. And sometimes that's all that matters, especially here in twos. And this isn't the extremely high-level twos of like pros or anything, but these guys are learning. You can tell they're learning on the fly as both Killer Penguin and Ezra fly past that ball, challenging each other, playing a little bit of bumper cars while we're at it.
You know, bumper cars is one of my favorite pastimes.
Right, though?
You remember the old Parker Brothers bumper cars board game?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We're about to have an old man moment.
We are about to have an old man moment, my friend. How about Tornado Rex?
No. The ultimate old man moment? Crossfire.
Oh, yes, I remember the commercials, my friend. Crossfire!
Speaking of Crossfire, though, we're tied at 1 here, game 5. Oh, Justin has a chance. Yep, Penguin will put it away. There's the second game in this series for the Aviators. Only 11 seconds needed. And it's
Pseudo Justin caught Ezra in the crossfire right there. And Moose leaving the match right there. Ouch.
Ouch, indeed. I think he's, that's not necessarily bad sportsmanship. He's really hard on himself, honestly. And when he makes little mistakes like that at the end of games and things like that, he kind of just likes to get out. It's not a bash or anything like that. He's not trying to be toxic. It's just kind of the way he is a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we know because we played with him for a whole season.
We did?
Almost.
Oh, wait. But yeah, like we were talking about, Crossfire!
Yeah, right.
I love the end of that commercial. Crossfire! Crossfire!
Yeah, right. It's all super 80s.
Yeah. It literally sounded like a hair metal band. It was so cool. But anyway. Oh, Ninja. Our guys of the Lightning doing a great job winning that series. Yeah. I mean, now they're 28-27. The Aviators dropping the 3 games mean they are at 34-21. Still in really good position going into week number 12. Really, we saw a decent matchup between two teams that are fairly evenly matched. I mean,
that's pretty much it. I mean, there were some mechanical mistakes, there were some positional errors, but there were a lot of opportunities that were missed, I think, by both teams. Some of that has to do with positioning, some of that has to do with accuracy, and all that stuff can be improved upon, which is the whole point of the MLD anyways, is to go back, review, and improve as you move through the season. Now, the champs side, the improvement there is technically at a slower pace because you're already playing at a higher level than you did at Platinum. So the longer season kind of allows for that, and I think that was kind of an after effect of the way the scheduling worked out here this season with the addition of the Champions League.
Yeah, and I mean,
well,
I'm gonna take a Dazrin. Where's my bed? Oh wait, let's jump. Oh. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I know you like good plays, of course, and we have the Balls Guarana MLD Play of the Week. Don't forget to, if you see a nice play that you like, clip it, hashtag it, MLDPOTW on Twitter. Send that sucker out, and you could help one of your favorite players get a case of wonderful, refreshing Balls Guarana. It energizes me through casts. It helps Ninja when he actually drinks it, which
True.
hasn't
Got
happened
me through
yet.
Texas, man. It got
But
me through a whole weekend in Texas.
Speaking of great plays, we have something special for you guys today for the in-between matches. It's one of the greatest series in the history of the MLD. In lieu of the wild card weekend, coming up this Saturday, we have a replay from Season 5, the Sharks versus the Jets, Season 5 wild card game. And if you have never seen this before, please watch it all the way through. This was a 7-game thriller, and I think I just spoiled it just a little bit for everybody, but you will thoroughly enjoy the plays.